Wow, I had no idea my last video would have so many views. So, what now? Agora, não pode acabar em samba. Or it can, only if it is to celebrate the changes we'll conquer. I could never imagine that my personal protest would take the dimensions it took. But through it, I had the opportunity to connect with people who have been making the difference since we first heard we would host the World Cup. So I felt impelled, almost obliged, to pass on the valuable information that these people and groups gave me. This is why I'm here again. Hi. By seeing these people and groups on the streets and the power that our protests have over our institutions, I realized that there are still ways to turn the tables, or to at least get to the World Cup in better shape. Yes, we were mistaken for wanting a World Cup to start with, but now it is almost here and we still have the Olympics to come. So the big question is how we can improve what has been and is being done. So yes, you can still go to the World Cup. Well, of course you can go independently of what I say, but just using of some poetic license here. As for me, I'll probably be kicked out if I try to show up at this point. So if there was, a little tiny part of me that wanted to go to the World Cup, not gonna happen. But you can go. So what about saying you go to the World Cup if things are done properly from now on? If evictions stop until they can be fully negotiated, monitored, and publicly discussed.
It has been reported that both events are directly responsible for forced evictions or threat of forced evictions of more than 170,000 Brazilians.
2. If people who are evicted from their houses receive the proper compensation and support.
Que meu barraco é pequeno, mas é meu! Eu não pedi paz nenhuma, não roubei, não! Isso aqui é meu! Ninguém vai me tirar daqui, não! Ninguém! Se vocês estão pensando que vai atingir a família, vocês estão enganados! Tá? Vá pro inferno, vocês!
There's no road, no event, no real estate speculation that is more important than housing rights or any other human rights.
Nós não somos contra a obra, em hipótese nenhuma, não somos contra a obra, mas somos contra o jeito que está sendo. Se é uma coisa que vai melhorar para meu filho, para outras pessoas que moram na comunidade, pô, legal.
If FIFA acts according to the constitution of the countries in which it operates and stops threatening our sovereignty. Essa palavra é difícil de falar. Sovereignty. If FIFA agrees to pay taxes and stops talking about that thing that we'll all make money from the World Cup and blah, 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 just pay the damn taxes. If the privatization of the Maracanã Stadium is revoked and the bidding processes from now on are more fair and transparent.
Among other issues, there are no public policies to prevent sexual exploitation.
If the government keeps its promise and keeps guardianship councils present in the stadiums at all times. If FIFA stops favoring its partners and monopolizing sales at the stadiums and its surroundings so that street vendors can also profit from the event. If the investments that still need to be done are publicly discussed, and if the government explains why the World Cup is already costing so much more than we predicted. If Pelé and Romário can be friends again.
Sério?
No, é uma piada. If we can have strict control over the police in the event, both the public military police and the private police hired by FIFA, especially that one. We can't be on the streets forever, but we can be attentive and engaged and make sure that from now on our priorities are attended. I don't know if this is the answer, and I am sure there are many other things to be discussed. But this is my contribution, and I do think that with information, debate, and pressure, we can make a lot of changes. I want to make it clear that I'm not in favor of any speech that threatens the democratic state of law. I am not in favor of the impeachment of our president. And lastly, I am not a journalist, I am not an activist, I'm not a politician. I'm a filmmaker, and this is a cause I believe in. Thank you so much to all of you who share my video and who also want a better country. And let's make sure that we make Brazilians proud before we have to play any match. Please check the links below for more. Thank you.
A Copa já começou há 2 anos, que o Brasil entrou em campo e ele já está perdendo de goleada. Porque um país que abandona o seu povo, né, para cuidar de uma Copa do Mundo, que é apenas da FIFA, que é um interesse único e exclusivamente da FIFA, é que para nós, a sociedade dessa Copa do Mundo, só vai restar a dívida.